remember, this Doom has max limber on. I already got close to my second bar of power. In fact, I had to start watching it. Welcome back to the channel. All right, it's time for the Buffed Hulk Essentials. I have to tell you, I absolutely love playing this champion. I do think he's very good, but he is so much fun. You feel like you're the Hulk, you're raging, you're rampaging. Now, if you're unfamiliar with my Essentials videos, we're gonna go over everything, all the essential information you need to know, all the questions you typically ask on videos like this. Like, we're going to cover signature ability. Does that need to happen? Is he recoil friendly? What is his loop or his rotation, or what I often kind of like to call his flow? We'll go over just 3 fights showing you all of that. The SP1, the SP2, and the SP3 in some shorter formats and longer. I'll talk about him with some of his synergies that I do think are important and helpful to him. We'll place him, at least initially, on my general tier list and in Battlegrounds, and then we'll give a conclusion, overall thoughts on him. There's a lot to get to with this guy. He's very fun. Let's go ahead and jump straight into it. Okay, we're gonna quickly get you to the gameplay, really talk about his loop and all of that stuff, the signature ability and what have you. But there's a couple of things I want to answer first, and that is, if you pull him or you've got him, why are you excited? What is he adding to your account? Well, first of all, poison immune. It's important. You do want that. He's not, at the moment of recording this, he's still bugged, but his degen resistance will get fixed. It kicks in once you get lower at health, so it's nice. I don't think that's the main reason. And then the other thing here is just massive fun, incredible amounts of damage, and I think he's actually going to be usable. I don't think this is a one-trick pony. I do think this is someone who's going to probably help you clear content. He has some really nice synergies, and like I said, he is an absolute blast. You truly feel like you're playing Hulk. All right, now let's go ahead and show you all the gameplay. For the vast majority of these fights, I'm going to be showing you on my live account, my live server, my rank 3 660 Hulk, okay? And we're going to use this first fight against the 6.1 Deadpool just to show the basics on how he works. And something that I do think is important is, with this size health pool, you can afford to make a mistake. Let's go ahead and jump into this. So we're going to be hitting him, and you have, I think it's a 50 to 80% chance on any of these hits to get a passive fury, right? And you're gonna see those start to build in the upper left-hand corner. Our chance to get those goes up the less health we have. So they're still kind of playing into that Hulk mechanic. You can see we're going there, and we're gonna work our way to the special 2, which is going to put a nice trauma on, right, on this Deadpool. And when you are in your gamma rage, which happens if you have a heavy, when you have over 5 of those fury passives, or when you naturally hit 15, they would have paused. And that's what I wanted to show you, is I had 13 on Deadpool. Because I never got into gamma or they're on him, they fell off. Ideally, you don't want to happen, but this is what I want to show you. And this is why I'm showing this to you. So we naturally hit 15, and watch how this still actually ends up playing out. We're still doing some pretty good damage, and because we're in gamma, when we would have gained a passive fury, we're instead putting those physical vulnerabilities on us, on Deadpool, which will still stay on and be paused because we are in gamma. We've thrown our SP1, which has some really nice elongated stuns, and then the elongated stuns are when you're in gamma rage. That was about 167,000 health in a very short period of time, and I messed up. We're gonna go ahead and show you this about 200,000 Venom the Duck health pool, because I want you to see what happens when you don't mess up. Also, I'm gonna talk about the signature later in the video, but I want you to see it come into play here. It provides a counter punch. I actually think it's really nice, especially in a fight where, like Battlegrounds or maybe War, more in Battlegrounds, where time is really of the essence and it really matters to you. So here we go, and we will show you the SP3 in the next fight, but this is going to be the same special 1, special 2 kind of loop here. So like I said, you get this chance to get any of those passive furies, and that's something where I think you're going to really need to learn how to play them, because they do build up at different rates. It's RNG. You don't know exactly how it's going to go. You can see we're already up at 9. This is also why I think he's going to benefit really nicely from having advanced combat power rate, the higher rank rated you get him there. So we've hit 15, the timing was absolutely perfect. So now those physical vulnerabilities and all of this, the trauma, are all paused. You see how much damage we're doing. I just want to get to my special 1. I don't even remember if I'm able to actually throw it. Let's see here. And if that had gone a little more smooth, this would go even more quickly. The furies are falling off, which is nice. It provides a little bit of a safety measure, so he's not just destroying the game. You saw how fast that went, right? Having those debuffs up while I was in gamma rage kept them paused. It's really helpful to Hulk's loop, getting all that significant damage. You can see the fight times were about the same, despite there being close to 40,000 more health on Venom the Duck. So that's the special 1. into the special 2. Ideally, you want to have be in Gamma, which you can do by hitting 15 of those passive Furies, or you can land a heavy. You can get strategic with it. He's not just a pure smash. It feels like it. It's a lot of fun, but there is a little nuance to playing him. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the SP3 route. You're going to see how much health we're going to take out, and the fight's not going to be that much longer. Okay, I want to show you this SP3 route, but I also want you to see these two synergies. Both the synergies with She-Hulk and with Hercules increase the potency of his Furies. With Hercules at 15%, Hercules is obviously probably the best champion in the game, and Hercules gets plus 3 feats of strength at the start of every fight. So it's a really nice synergy for Hercules as well. And then She-Hulk, it's actually plus 20% potency. So I believe these stack. I had DLL on stream, and he said, yeah, I think they do. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Now on this one, I know it's Realm of Legends, and so I'm gonna play this as kind of honestly, or whatever you want to call it, as possible. I'm never gonna send Captain Marvel to red. I intentionally wanted to show you this so you can see how much damage this guy can get out. Now there's no nodes affecting things like, but this is what is possible. This is what is capable. So you can see that the Furies are adding up in a way, because I know I want to throw the special 3. I'm actually getting good luck that I'm not having these Furies build up faster. That's one of the things you need to get used to, is sometimes you're gonna wanna go to the special 3, but your Furies will build up too quick and you're gonna enter Gamma Rage. There's a nice little safeguard there for you in that you get 10 Furies from throwing the special 3 if you're not in Gamma Rage, so that's not bad. But here we go. So we've thrown it, we're gonna get a massive physical vulnerability. You see that on Captain Marvel. Look how hard we are hitting. Look at these numbers. These are very, very big numbers. Our Furies are going to continue to go down. This is what keeps him, I think, from being too outrageous. But what are we hitting? That was a crit for 19,000, 11,000, 18 as the Furies start to go down. These are ginormous numbers. Keep in mind how much health you had. We're going to throw the SP2, which now is going to be adding those big traumas. We're still in Gamma. And so all those debuffs were paused, and I think you can see why I was saying the advanced combat power rate as you rank him up will make all that easier and easier, because maybe you don't need to have the full 15 when you get into Gamma, or if something starts to get in your way, some sort of hindrance from a node or a defender makes it so you can't just rush through, you loop like I did there. It's going to help you out a lot. You're going to be able to keep those debuffs paused. You're going to be able to take advantage of all those Furies as they're counting down. But like I said, I did bait the specials. I wanted to throw the specials. I wanted to show you what, as close as I could, approximate this sort of health pool. That was only 20 seconds more. That is a massive, massive jump from about 200,000 to I think this was 600,000 in only 20 seconds. I think this is his sweet spot, is these sorts of health pools, maybe nothing too demanding from you as far as nodes or defenders are concerned. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about some more. All right, the last fight I really wanted to show you and talk through with you is, I know there's concern about Limber. Is he going to be usable in Battlegrounds and in War? Right now, I think ultimately it's going to be the nodes and the defenders that are going to make that determination, because let me show you this. Now, I tried, and thank you so much to, I have 2 alliance mates, a lot of alliance mates actually volunteered to do this, but to Bean and Jelly, they both did a bunch of dual friendly matches with me in Battlegrounds. Unfortunately, the metas that are available to us to practice right now, they're just not conducive to Hulk. It's the one where they're putting the weakness on him, and the other one is Rage. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't work. We tried it, but here you go. I decided to duel my own 6-star rank 4 maxed out max Limber Doom. So keep that in mind when you're watching. This is our 6-star rank 4 max Limber, which is what you're concerned about in Battlegrounds and War as far as his stun loop is concerned, him being Hulk, versus my maxed out rank 3 with the high 6. So here we go. We trigger the Rage. The timing was just beautiful. Having those extra ranks is really, really nice, as I've talked about quite a few times in this. So here we go. We've got all that physical vulnerability, and we're just going to start cleaning this Doom's clock. I want you to see, I mean, when we threw that SB3, it was at like 85% health, something like that. And we are just totally mowing him down. Keep in mind, it's a 3-star versus a 6-star when you're looking at the size of these hits, right? Okay. So here we go. We've thrown the heavy. We were in Gamma, so I think it gets it's 100%, or it's a nice large increase in the amount of time. Remember, this Doom has max Limber on. I already got close to my 2nd bar of power. In fact, I had to start watching it because there was so much time left in the stun that cleaned him up. We had more stuns if we needed them. I don't think Limber is going to be at least the sole reason why you're not using him. It might be the health pool or something like that, right? You want to make sure you're going to finish this off in Battlegrounds or in War. But Limber alone, in my opinion, based on what I just saw and what I was able to pull off, will not be the sole reason you don't use him in those modes. Is he recoil friendly? Yeah, in a way. I mean, I think I don't know if you're going to want to use him for like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 fights, because you are throwing specials, right? There's the stun lock. There's going to be a lot of special ones, so you're going to be taking the recoil damage from that. But he is poison immune, and he does do a ton of damage. Also, as I'm sure either we will or we have talked about, I think his best synergy partner is Hercules, who is very much recoil friendly. So I could see you wanting to run him with the recoil tree and it making sense. I would say he's friendly enough if you know what you're doing and you're not going to ask too much out of him as far as too many fights or too many specials being thrown. Okay, does he need to be awakened? Does he need it? Is he unplayable without it? Absolutely not. You can accomplish a lot of what you've seen in this video without him being awakened. That being said, I did point out it's like a counterpunch. We discovered this on stream. It was really helpful. I believe it was Pablo, and then also I had VMcG and DLL on call with me. But so when Hulk enters Gamma Rage, or he strikes the opponent with a heavy attack while it's active, he's going to gain this unstoppable passive, and then you can use that as a counterpunch. Let the defender go ahead and attack into you. You're blocking. It only lasts for 2.55 seconds. I think we realized this gets up to 5.5. That's pretty lengthy, and there was times in fights and testing things out where I would have really enjoyed a little bit more time. 3 more seconds would have been a big deal. And then here's the other part that's really nice is while that's happening, you're going to gain up to 1,100, whatever. Physical resistance and critical resistance, obviously that's going to increase as well too. And this is while you're unstoppable. So again, that's kind of helping out with the counterpunch. I can understand why folks really feel this is defensive, and it does obviously have defensive use. But for those of you who played Mole Man, Killmonger, that sort of thing, I think you can see how this is really nice. It gives you that opening. And if I haven't talked about it yet, I'm going to continue to talk about it. I really think you're going to see a benefit from additional ranks with him, because the more combat power you have, the more you can quickly get through your loop. And so again, making these quicker openings, I think is very helpful to him. I don't think this is wasted. I'm not recommending you take him to 6,200, but if you're going to rank him up, I do think it might be a worthwhile signature investment for you. Play him, see how it feels, and then you can make that decision. Okay, I've already talked about his 2 synergies with She-Hulk and Hercules. Those are obviously pretty valuable, right? Also, Hulk has a tremendous amount of synergies in this game, I think just due to his popularity and his presence in the comics and things like that. So it makes sense. But the other one I did want to point out, make sure you're aware of it, because I do think it's very valuable, is this one with Silver Surfer. Hulk becomes immune to buffs. That's a big deal, especially if you don't have a buff immune champion on your roster. You really do want one. And it also has a mechanic that I absolutely love in this game, which is whenever a buff is prevented, so whenever someone tries to do something and he stops it with an immunity, he's actually going to inflict a 250 physical vulnerability. No, that's nowhere near what he's putting on with like his special 3 or something like that, but it's not bad. Extra damage just by playing the game, using him smartly in the RPG ways he's intended to be used. That's a pretty good thing. I like that. This initial Battlegrounds ranking, before I really have the time to consult fully with the MCoC Illuminati, who reviews all of my rankings and lists and gives their ideas and experience, I'm going to put him here in the top shelf of attackers. You can see there's a tier above all attackers. I think they're more fluid. I think they're going to be able to better handle the really tough defenders that you're seeing in Battlegrounds, or maybe the node sets, right? Like, we never totally know what the node sets are going to be, so this is kind of default rankings. I was slightly tempted to put him in the dual threats, as far as like the second tier of dual threats. And in fact, when this goes live, if he stays in this attacker's top shelf, he'll have a potential dual threat or potential defensive use emoji. And a lot of that will come down to his signature ability. I do really like him. I think, again, ultimately what's going to come down to, though, for me is if he has any sort of defensive value. We'll find that out and how hard that is to fight him with his sig. But also, can he handle the tough defenders? I showed you Doom, but is he going to be able to get that done quickly? You can be able to get to your special 3, throw that, and then like maybe a stun lock with the SB1s and kill him off and get a score of like 50, 51,000? Possibly. I mean, Titania does things like this too. So I could see Hulk maybe doing that. Not a ton of utility though, as far as like, even the buff immunities coming with the synergy from Silver Surfer. So I think we'll have to see. Time will really be the one that can tell us how this is going to work out. But my initial instincts are, this is a good spot for him. And then this is the big one. This is where I believe he's going to be placed. It'll end up being the 30th edition in March for the general tier list here. And I want to remind everyone, especially those of you who've seen this for the first time, yes, it's the 3rd tier, but it's a very good tier. Those champions are going to help you clear content, right? We went over this, the why you're excited about it. He does have the poison immunity with a synergy with Solar Surfer, who's pretty good. He goes buff immune, which is a really nice immunity. The D-gen resistance as he goes down in health, and also as we talked about, when he's down in health, he's easier to ramp up. And then massive, massive damage for health pools that really do seem to fit maybe Battlegrounds and War, but also story content, especially as you get him rank appropriate. I talked about that a lot as far as you rank him up and his combat power rate goes up. I found him that much easier to play. Like my rank 3, I often found it wanting, but when I played my maxed out 3-star, I felt like the loop was so incredibly smooth and not very stressful like it kind of was for my 6-star. So that's where I've got him, right? He's been buffed. I think the Awakened ability will play into that because I showed you with that nice counter punch. It also gets some defensive utility and that sort of thing. So I really like this champion. He's an absolute blast to play. I have a feeling this might not be the last video you see me do on him because I'm enjoying playing him that much. It's been a while since I've just totally engrossed myself in a champion for, you know, what ultimately is almost half a day here. So it was a lot of testing. Let me know what you think I got right, what you think I got wrong, things where you found him useful and not, and you know, that sort of thing, so we can keep this forward, share that information, and make sure we get him in the right place on this tier list. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying these Essential series. They're always in the playlist on my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. I hope you either learned something, were entertained, or even better, a little bit of both. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.